X-Men, people getting tired of them. Even the people in the movie were getting tired of this series a long time ago. People knew that with Last Stand. Y'all remember X-Men Last Stand? People just happy to die.
That's true. Some of them allow themselves to be taken out early.
People, so they ready to kill me. She kill me next. People just smiling. What's his name? Jean-Luc Picard. What's his name?
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart just happy. Patrick Stewart got blown up. He's like, freedom!
She was my friend.
You're my family, Jean. Stop, no matter what.
Stop.
Not even dtmerch.com, Martin? Martin's like, don't. Martin's like, do you have to hold yourself out every night? I do, Martin. Maybe the other shirts right there. Maybe the phone covers. Maybe the jerseys. Maybe the cup right there. The gift of choice. And also, don't forget to go over to doubletoasted.com and keep these live streams going by subscribing or donating or whatever you can do. Get the audio for free all the time on SoundCloud or iTunes. But remember that we do get by with your support. They pretty much use that storyline just to get rid of some people.
Yeah.
Some people just wanted to get the hell out of there. But a lot of other people are saying, hey, look, man, that's cool if they want to leave, but I still want my movie. And I still want my Dark Phoenix Saga done right. That's why some people are complaining, because they're saying, you took one of the most important storylines in X-Men history and you just reduced it down to like a small subplot just to get rid of some actors.
Yeah.
It's like, look,
that was the problem. It's gosh, this is a huge thing, a huge event, and you made it so small and mundane.
Yeah, you just made it like a footnote in that movie, and people like, look, if you want to leave and you want to get out this series, that's fine, but don't come in here messing up my storylines. And people even saying, this is one time I agree with them. They said, look, I don't give a damn when that mouse wants this. I don't care when people want to stop. You owe me a Dark Phoenix. you owe me that set. You owe me.
I feel less like the people said you owe me a Dark Phoenix as opposed to people making it said, listen, I've got to do Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because the director of this one was the writer of that one.
Try to,
have some dignity.
Yeah, there's no telling even when these X-Men's gonna get up in Disney. So just can you just do this one last thing for us? Even if you just do half a decent job with it, just give us something in that bullshit that you did last time. And that is where, and they just named the whole movie that X-Men Dark Phoenix. Did they actually succeed at making it better? Did they come in and actually make amends to the people that were disappointed, the true fans out there that have been waiting for so long? Because y'all were doing so good with X-Men for a while. This is the only series that's been just all over the place, too. Being great, sucked, being great again, sucked again. So
it is a phoenix that it keeps rising out of the ashes.
Yeah. And this time, and this time, you went down last time, so we ain't got nowhere to go but up. I'm hopeful. I believe in you, X-Men. You could pull one more with Fox out there.
Sure.
Before that mouse grabbed that ass. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer.
Why did you make me do that?
She's like, what you put me in this shit?
She's talking to her agent.
Why did you do this?
By the time you realize who they are, it's too late.
Now, for those who don't know about this Dark Phoenix saga that goes on in the comic books, what this is that you have Jean Grey, who becomes the most powerful X-Man that's out there after going into space and soaking up in some radiation or something. And only thing is that after becoming the most powerful mutant there is, she can't control it. She's just pissed off all the time for some particular reason. And even before she got this great power from this cosmic cloud or whatever, she was even as a little girl, she couldn't control that shit.
Sure.
They should have.
And like most mutants.
Yeah, they should have put a bullet in her ass when she was 9 years old. But yeah, Dr. Xavier come in with that "I can save you" shit. So you know, all right, cool. That's what he does. I'm with it. Immediately, there are going to be two camps of people that approach this movie in two different ways. You're gonna have those people who they just done. You know, they already know that the end is near. They're short time, and they're just kind of like, you know what, just get this shit over with, so we can have X-Men versus Avengers or whatever they're gonna do when that mouse gets a hold of it. There's also going to be the other people gonna be like, you know, man, look, it ain't perfect, but at least it's not this shit.
We will cleanse the earth.
Everything they've built will fall! And from the ashes...
Shut the f*** yelling. Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse, which was notorious for having a huge budget and still looked like shit. That makeup job they had right there, for some reason, it just, I mean, nice suit and everything, but it just didn't work. People compared that to Power Rangers. That was a new low for the series. It was overproduced, had way too much CG, and the main character of Apocalypse, played by Oscar Isaac, was just not that interesting. I was in that first camp of people because for me, this was comic book silliness at its finest. You know, when this came on, because they start out with a space mission.
Yeah, I was just like, because I hadn't seen Apocalypse, but I just felt like, what did I miss to where now they're just casually going into space?
Okay, thank you, because I don't read a whole lot of X-Men. I never have, so I didn't know.
No. In the comics, sure. In the comics, they do that. They will go into space. They have some. They interact with other aliens. But I'm not going by comics. I'm going by movie universe. And where I left off with the movie universe, they weren't near just like, hey guys, we got a space mission, so let's go. It's like, okay, now all of y'all are pilots. Which is one thing. It takes a long time to study to be a pilot.
Yeah.
Now y'all are astronauts too?
Well, that was my thing. It's just because even Professor X, look, if you can get away with a lot of things in a comic book, but Professor X, he didn't test any of this shit out for to go to space.
No.
There was so the movie starts out with astronauts stuck in space, and Professor X says, we got to save him. By the way, take the X-plane. It should work in space.
Right.
I was like, man, you need to test this out.
Like, yeah, I never really tested it for that. No, I'm sure it'll be fine. You kids go.
And even the X-Men are like, okay, what the f***, man? We just gonna go into space and you ain't gonna give them no helmets or nothing. And the movie, the thing is, the movie even knows that it's silly because it's like, you know what? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
We go into space, we get the astronauts, we bring them home. Any questions?
Yeah.
Lots.
Like 1,000.
We don't have time for 1,000.
Well, you better get time. Shit. I have to take my ass out there. I know it's a comic book, but for come on, man, for a comic book, you gotta answer questions about, all right, what about oxygen? What about what about what about the cabin pressure?
Training for anti-gravity.
This is like bad writing for a 30-minute cartoon where it's like, we only got 30 minutes, we ain't got time to explain this shit. Go.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I'm not. Look,
it's the first 5 minutes.
We ain't even we ain't even 10 minutes into this movie. I'm not gonna sit up here and start nitpicking you. I'm not. I mean, I can, but I'm not. Shit. Even she's like, yeah, I don't know what are you doing? He just told me to put y'all in a plane and go to space. Look, that's all we doing.
He's
all
your
right?
teacher, so you got to do it.
Because when they go to space, now this is what made me actually kind of like it. Because they go into space, and even what's her name? Mystique. She comes back. She say, "Look, I did it, but what the man?" She said, I just don't want to look bad in front of people. Don't ever do that to me again. And you know what? And even then, when I was giving it a chance, and then they came back down to Earth. And now in this particular storyline, because they've gone backwards and forwards in time and everything. So in this particular timeline, Professor Xavier, he's actually been able, because of this mission that they've done and other good deeds that they've done, he's actually been able to get humans on their side. He's actually been able to say, you know what? Wow, we even got. I even got the president got an X phone.
Yep. put his bat phone in the trash.
Yeah.
He has an X phone. Not lying, it's got a big X on it.
Yeah, it's a big ass X. They come back down to Earth, and there's these crowd shots of people cheering, and that's fine. But then they insert these really awkward close-ups of kids cheering them on, and it's funny because the kids, you can tell because the kids ain't cheering that shit. They're like, ah! They got like they're painted blue in the face. They're holding action figures. You can almost hear the direction of the director saying, "Okay, I know there's not a real crowd here, but just look straight ahead and scream and hold the action figure up." These kids are not screaming at shit. It's like a bad toy commercial.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
At this point, I said, Mickey, come get this shit. They don't know. They do not know what they're doing with this. They don't know what they're doing. Come get this. It's done. We don't need to get to the end of this. Come and get your kids.
Yeah.
Out the street. Then I have to say, when Jean Grey's powers started to actually kick in, when they start to ramp up, that's when the Phoenix storyline becomes, to me, pretty fascinating. And she's trying to hold this back. It's not her fault, so you feel bad for her. As you said, everyone, once she starts to actually lose it with her powers, everybody starts to blame Professor X, Professor Xavier, James McAvoy, and then all these people. It's almost like it's written like almost like a good novel, man. It's like all these people start having these the different motivations. Different factions start forming. Some people say, let's stay at the school. Some people saying, okay, this motherfucker don't know what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He's sent out to space. Now this bitch is blowing up shit.
Right.
Come on.
He did something to her when she was young. I don't agree with that shit.
Yeah.
And he's just drinking all the time.
And he just stay drunk.
I mean, half the movie is him grabbing a bottle of brown liquor and just pouring it, trying to talk sense to people. It's like, nah, man.
It was like his mutant power is alcohol. Just the whole thing. Just pour every time he had to talk to somebody, there was just a bottle just conveniently nearby. And then Jean Grey, she does something really terrible in here. She does something awful. And when that happens, it sums up why, when the X-Men are at their best, it sums up why people really like the X-Men. Mm-hmm. Because the X-Men, they're morally, they're all over the place.
They are.
It's at one moment you really root for them, another moment you feel sorry for them, and at times I think everyone has had that moment where they caught themselves like the humans in the movie and said, "No, they got to go.
These motherfuckers got to go."
And
lock them up.
And that's when the movie's really working. I tell you, I really enjoyed the first hour of it. Now, it had some flaws, but I started enjoying it because I'm going to go on a limb here and say that during that first hour, they did something that I like best about the X-Men stories, the X-Men series in any form. And that is when they are weaved into like the politics of the real world, the social mores of the real world.
Sure.
And this is a world that's actually, and it works best when they're trying to deal with the mutants, not fighting them, because that means they just gonna start shooting and blasting each other. It's when they're trying to coexist, and that's where you get things like where they're trying to actually find places for the mutants to live on their own. Magneto, who's played by Michael Fassbender, they treat him and his other band of mutants like they are like Native Americans. They give them their own land to stay on, and they say, as long as you over there ain't fucking with people and going off on this to kill all, kill whitey and kill all humans and all that kind of stuff, then we're cool. And at that moment when they did that, not only does that actually make the world more believable in a way, more relatable, but it really does ramp up at how much there's at stake, how much they have to lose. And it's not just that Jean Grey can just, kill people or blow things up. It's like, okay, she's about to ruin everything.
Magneto always ends up being the best part of these movies.
Yeah.
Because he's the thing that's grounded. Even with his moral ambiguity, he always brings that side of, dang, he's a villain, but I get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And he seems to be the most realistic about things.
And this is the moment they finally got his ass to settle down.
Yeah, he's finally like, I ain't killing people.
Yeah.
I'm just taking care of my village. I'm trying to be cool.
He's out there with a hippie commune.
Yeah.
They like this. It was fine. Nobody was making him mad, and that's why you get nervous when you see like Jean Grey start to lose it, because they're like, oh shit, he's about to make this motherfucker mad again.
This land was given to us by the U.S. government.
We have no intention of taking it back. I said stop that right now!
It's not me.
It's me.
Like, God damn,
God
girl,
damn
I
it.
told
I was
you to
coming
keep
for you.
I told you to keep your ass inside. What are you doing? I was gonna give you your cue.
This was gonna be over in 10 minutes.
But no, you had to come in here and show out. Now we're starting to get into some drama here. You know, it's not just about the super heroics or the villainy or anything like that. It's not about the special effects. It's about the powers here, man. I mean, the dramatic power here, and when you get these, when you start getting these dramatic moments, that's when the movie's really at its best. That's when the actors are invested, man. There are moments where maybe it's not the best written dialogue, but from a dramatic angle, it really works. There's a scene where when everybody's blaming Professor X, they got this scene with Nicholas Hoult as Beast at the table. Him's like saying, "Man, just admit you fucked up, please."
This is your fault, Charles.
Don't you touch that shit.
Enough of that.
God damn, you're drinking this whole movie. Now stop. Listen to me.
But that's my medicine, boy.
Well, he really wants to. He's like, no. God. Gets out that chair and starts looking at the floor.
Stop that.
During that time, that's when the actors seemed really into it, except for Jennifer Lawrence. She stopped giving a fuck a long time ago. And it's clear, like, you know what, just pay me. Just get my check. I'm done.
Yeah, you only thought she didn't give a fuck with Apocalypse. Here, she might as well be saying it with every scene.
Yeah.
I mean, it is rare that you see an actor so blatantly almost look into the camera and say, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Whose dick do I have to suck to get out of this movie?
There's a moment that she gets hurt and she's like, ow. I was like, come on, girl. Just one more movie.
Yeah,
just one movie.
Can we just get this last take from you? Nope, going to my trailer.
That look is for everything. She gets injured so bad. She got that look. Is that blood? Wow.
The only time she really emoted was when she was irritated, and I felt less like she was irritated by the situation as she was about just having to be there.
She wasn't. She didn't.
She channeled her irritation of being there into her character.
Yeah, that was her. That was her being Jennifer Lawrence. That wasn't her being Mystique. Once the big superhero stuff, like once Charles Xavier and Magneto actually have to face off at each other, now we get into some big mutant fights. That's when everybody checks out. You can. There are some people who didn't even want to be here. I had read or was told.
Really?
Michael Fassbender said, "Look," he told the director, "Look, man, if it weren't for you, I would not be back here again. I don't want to do this no more."
Okay.
Of course, Jennifer Lawrence didn't want to do this anymore, and you can tell, man, when they're actually doing dramatic parts, they are trying to work. Like I said, except for Jennifer Lawrence, she's out. She's like, I'm done. This is what you get out of me. You take me or leave me. You better CG my ass in or something later.
Right.
But
I will show up for 2 days.
Yeah. But Michael Fassbender, once Michael Fassbender got to put that helmet on, he is gone. And you can even tell with his line readings. And and it's just like you said, there's a moment in here where he has to read lines that expresses how he feels. And that is when he is truly acting.
Stay out of my way.
I'm sorry for what she did. But I can't
See,
let
you look at that.
Oh my God.
Look at that. He's like, Jesus, this shit again. God damn, man. How many times are you going to write this shit? I've done this script 10 times already.
Why do we keep coming back here?
It's when he has to say those lines that express exactly how he feels, then he acts. You can tell he means that shit.
No.
You're always sorry, Charles, and there's always a speech. But nobody cares anymore.
He might as well just went up to Professor Xavier and said, "No one gives a f," and took his ass and just rolled it.
I know.
What are you doing, huh? when they have this big standoff, that's when I really start to dislike the movie too, because they give these big speeches about how we have so much to lose. There's so much at stake. Everything we built will be torn apart if we do this, Charles. If we do this. And when they start doing this, I mean, when they get to New York, all these mutants they just forget everything they just said and just make the dumbest decisions to fight out in the middle of the street for nothing, for over some petty shit. This made me so mad when they did this, and I said, see, this is why I feel this way. This is why I said, as much as I love the X-Men in some of these movies, they got to go because they can't argue like human beings. Yeah. You know, once one of them get triggered, then they're gonna start blowing shit up.
Yeah. Well, there's also that I'm going to kill her, even though I know she's more powerful than me, and I'm not gonna do a sneak attack, and I'm not gonna just shoot her with things from long range. I'm going to slowly float up to her and look her in the face for a long time and say, I'm here to kill you.
Yeah.
Now I will begin.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, by that point, I already thought they had done something stupid because Charles Xavier, he said, he told them, he said, y'all, what did I teach you? Just don't engage, just be cool. And then Cyclops had to say, you'll never get to hurt my dad, doing all that white knight shit.
Yeah.
And immediately, even before Magneto starts tearing shit up, Cyclops out in the street, tearing up buses, blowing up cars. Mm-hmm. All these characters are not only annoying, but they are completely dumb. They are stupid for what they're doing because they're fighting over petty shit, and there's such a better way to handle this.
Yeah.
I know, again, it's a comic book movie. I know these characters aren't real, but given the motivations behind them and everything that they know, that they stand to lose, they are fighting over some dumb shit. If y'all don't care, then if this is what we're gonna do, we just gonna turn into a mutant bash movie. I'm done. It's bad enough for the heroes to just start turning to just tools for action, but then you get the aliens that come in,
right?
And those aliens they have no personality. They are non-characters. They are just an opposing force.
They are, well, there's aliens in the comics,
and that's fine.
Yeah, I know, but it's somebody going, all right, if we gotta do aliens, what's the least amount of work we can do with them? I know, even though they're aliens, they'll look human most of the time. So the actors don't have to wear any prosthetics. And they'll be super dry, so the actors will just have to show no emotion whatsoever. And that will be their thing.
Yeah. For these aliens to be like they are, it's a big mistake because it means that you're going to get terrible performances from the actors. Mm-hmm. Jessica Chastain, people are wondering why she's in this, and it's easy because
you look at it and you think, oh, is she going to be the new White Queen?
Yeah, no. The reason why she's in this because this is the easiest fucking paycheck that she will ever get. This has got to be the easiest job. This is not even acting. This is anti-acting.
The hardest thing she had to do was walk around in 6-inch heels.
Yes, her direction is to go in and read your lines. Read your lines. I'm sure there was a cue card over there on the other side of the room, and do it with as little emotion as possible.
Are you a scared little girl who answers to a man in a chair? Or are you the most powerful creature on the planet?
You're like, damn, girl, you can at least put something in there. give me something to work with.
You did that whole thing without blinking. That's amazing.
This is where you start out with so much emotion and depth in these characters, and popular term right now is world building. They were building up this world and making it somewhat believable. They pull back where you have characters that aren't interesting anymore. You have, like I said, terrible villains, and all you're left with pretty much at that point is a rush third act where the only thing you can take refuge in is that they have cool effects and cool fighting, which I admit that they are. When you're talking about that last part with the train,
yeah, it's a long train ride with the X-Men fighting the aliens, and I thought it was well done. It's suspenseful. They're using all their powers. It's well choreographed. It's
a cool scene, and I have to tell you, man, there are moments here where where Magneto, I mean, Magneto's powers really never get old for me, man, because he's just always, he's always finding, like, it can get stupid sometimes, but he's always finding something cool to do with it.
His power level is inconsistent.
Yeah.
Because he does something right before this, which was, granted, it was cool, but 2 movies ago, he lifted a whole baseball stadium.
Yeah, exactly. So, it kind of just whatever serves for these, the writers should do.
Some things he struggles with, and some things are like, all right.
Yeah, it's just whatever like looks cool as a special effect at the moment. But it does it. If you want to see mutants fight, they have a lot of mutants in here that with different powers that are fighting with each other. Of course, they're always gonna throw in some nameless mutants you ain't never heard of before, seen before, which gets completely silly at some point. I mean, they must have known that they were on their way out and said, "Let's just get stupid." And they actually put a mutant in here, and I'm not bullshitting. They put a mutant in here. His mutant power is in his cornrows. This fool is fighting people. He's actually fighting people with his pigtails. His ponytails. It look, he comes out and it looks like a big octopus is on his head. And I was like, really? A dude with mutant cornrows. That's his power. I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? You need to be auditioning for Deadpool. This is the wrong move, Fred. It's not terrible like some people want it to be. It's not the terms that we use with dumpster fire, train wreck, a lost cause, a write off, but it's not really any of those. I mean,
I wouldn't use I wouldn't use any of those words to describe it. I would say lacking.
Yeah,
the main thing.
Yeah.
It's certainly lacking for what is ostensibly the finale of the X-Men movies, but it's also lacking for just a standard X-Men movie. To me, one of the most egregious problems with it is that it's rushed. It comes in at less than 2 hours. There's a lot of things they're dealing with that if you fleshed it out, this plot could work. You really could have done something with it. But everything is just moving so fast. We're going from suddenly they're in space to 2 hours later, she's overtaken by the Phoenix Force and killing people.
This should have been 2 movies. I think because
it would have helped. Because a big thing is her you don't really get to know Jean that much. You see her as a little kid, but Jean Grey, you don't really get to know her. You really don't get anything from the romance between her and Cyclops. And that's where the heart of all this is supposed to be. It's like, oh man, we loved her so much, and it sucks this thing is happening to her. And oh, they were such great lovers, and we hate to see them break up, or what he's, how much he's suffering watching her go through this. And
okay, I just want y'all to know these motherfuckers over here asleep. Look at this. He is knocked out. I was one because both of them. They are drunk as hell. Y'all go back to bed. Don't get me wrong.
Cool.
No, we ain't give me a hard time.
You're fine.
I was just wondering if I should go in there and tuck you in or something. He was having such a good time before, and I said, "Geez, he should get quiet all of a sudden." And I looked over there, and he's looking like a bum on a park bench. I was like, damn. I was like, not sleep, knocked the out. It's like somebody just came up and just punched the both of them. Knocked them out.
Snot is running down his nose.
And she looked more tired than you. She was her face was all in her cleavage. I believe I hear what you're saying. Like there's a whole lot of motivation, a whole lot of relationships. All that doesn't feel fleshed out.
No.
And you know what? And it's not because they couldn't do it, because they were setting it up well in the first hour. But because they get that third act, they rush right through it. Listen,
I feel like it was rushed all the way through.
No, it was
the third act especially. But
yeah.
I was like in the beginning where you want to really set this up so you can rush the last part. They're not doing it. They're just running through these things so fast.
Yeah. They have these aliens, and these aliens are just evil. They're on Earth for a particular reason, but they needed to be here to. We needed we needed to see some sort of motivation for them being here, and even have some sort of sympathetic motivation, or maybe some understanding.
Also, when they explain their reason, I was like later thinking about it. I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
No, No, we need more than just aliens coming down and saying, "Oh, pathetic humans, we would take your planet." You know, there's
not with this.
No,
but then some other movie.
And they even alluded to that. We're just trying to survive. But don't be assholes about it. I tell you this, I was not looking forward to Quicksilver in this because you're just gonna do the same thing. But I like that they used his powers a little bit more here and showed him doing a little bit more than just, hey, here's my big set piece. Here's my big scene right here that's set to a classic rock song or something.
Right.
But they set up a lot of good things here. They set things in motion that could have made for something that was, because this is an epic story in the comics. You need to make an epic movie. You didn't need to make this just some sort of like last throwaway film, which is what you did. Plus, you're going out, man. They could have got a lot of good faith in people by saying this is your last X-Men movie. This is the last one from Fox that you're going to get. Let's just go ahead and make this as epic as we can and do it with the storyline that you've been wanting to see done right. And I think no one would have had a problem with them doing 2 movies.
Well, I think maybe Disney would have.
Disney's
like, listen, wrap this shit up.
I'm talking about the fans.
Oh yeah,
Disney probably would have,
but
the fans would have loved that, man.
I don't hate it because there's stuff in here. At least there's potential for something good, and like they said, the big train action scene really won me back. But the problems are numerous, and like there were people, laughing at it, and I was like, I don't know that I was so much laughing, but there's a lot of really bad dialogue here.
Yeah.
So James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender, they're fine. They're able to take everything and make you go like, yeah, I'm with you on that. And even Nicholas Hoult. But so many of the younger kids, especially Sophie Turner and Ty Sheridan, they come across to me. I was like, if I'd never seen them in a movie before, I'd be like, those 2 actors suck. It had Phantom Menace all over it, where I'm like, man, y'all are making people who I know are not bad look bad.
It's the dialogue that's doing it, because Sophie Turner, I think, is fine. Like I said, I look at some of the actors that are good in here, and nobody's really into this. I think Sophie Turner could have been fine. She's just not given much to do. When she's at her most mentally anguished, she's good. But you just have to look at Jessica Chastain and tell, like, okay, I don't even think the heart of the filmmakers were truly into this. Because if so, they would have desired to do a lot more here. There were people laughing in the theater, and I think they were just laughing because they wanted to come in.
Yeah. There's people who come in here. They're like, let's go see a bad movie and let's laugh at it before we get there. There was, something. I was, like I said, I was conflicted when I came out of the movie. At the time, I was like, I don't know. And I came out. Me and Goodwin were talking about it. I was like, yeah, I think it's probably not. It's all right. I mean, look, it's better than Wolverine Origins.
Yep.
And it's better than Last Stand.
The biggest thing with it is that it's just so bland that it's forgettable.
Yes.
Like I'm really not going to remember a whole lot about this, and I can tell you that right now.
It's a bad way for them to go out.
No, it's a bad way to go out, and I don't even think it's that good of a movie. Some people are gonna feel much worse than I do about it, but I understand why. And then I can't see a whole lot of people out there liking it more than me.
No, I also I look at the Rotten Tomatoes rating where it's like 20% or 14%, and I read a bunch of reviews, and I was like, I see what's happening here. Everybody's pretty much saying the same thing. Like nobody, it's a collection of people that don't like it, don't hate it like it's the worst. But you don't have enough people putting it up here, so that's why its score is just going to be low.
No, there's a lot of scores where it's like out of 4 or out of 5 is 2.5 or it's a C minus. And to me, I think that's accurate. To put this down on an F level, don't think that.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's not. There's no enthusiasm for this movie at all, and the movie doesn't deserve it, if you ask me. This is something where I don't want to be like these other people out there, but yeah, I'm just ready to move on too. It just feels like everyone, including the studio, is just tired.
Yes,
just tired of it. They just putting this shit in the box and just taking it to Goodwill now. It's a rental. It's just a flat, straight out rental. You can watch it at home. You can even enjoy it when you see it, but when it's done, you ain't gonna be like, man, let's watch that again.
I felt the same way. I mean, I thought I was going to walk into a bullshit movie, and I was like, you know, it's more of a rental. I mean, it doesn't even come close to a matinee. But watching it at home on cable, you're like, whatever. That's actually the thing I found most laughable in a way that I didn't like, other than just some of the dialogue was just like, God damn, y'all. But in the end, because there was no stinger, at least when we saw it. But I was watching in the credits when they were showing the music they chose, and I was like, these were poor choices. Like, they were so on the nose. Like the music, the song they listened to on the radio when Jean Grey as a child is By the Time I Get to Phoenix. I was like, you motherfuckers, really? And Killer Queen is on there. It's a bunch of theme songs like that.
I didn't even notice that.
No, I'm listening to the song, and I didn't put it together until I looked at the credits. I was like, God damn.
Shit, they might as well just play Freebird. God damn it. Well, there you go, yo. I don't know what to tell you. Enjoy. Please come and get these kids. Come and get these babies. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hit that subscribe button. And if it's not too much to ask, just do one more thing. Check out our main site, doubletoasted.com. Over there, you'll find the long-form version of this video, unedited, uncensored, along with the live streams that we do almost every night of the week. Support us at dtmerch.com. And remember to always stay toasty.